Hey guys, this is Coinage Britannia. I've been out on hunts recently, but they've only been very short and there's been nothing really to film. I did get a few old coins, and you might see on my YouTube channel page that I just passed 100 old coins, so I'm pretty happy with that. But today I've seen a gap where there's quite a few people asking from the English and American side about what kind of coins either side is finding. So what I'm aiming to do today is to explain, with my limited understanding of both currencies, the kind of coins that both sides of the ocean, to understand more what people are finding and to engage with it more, so it's more enjoyable. So I'll start with the American side. So this is more for the British side of the people. It's a basic system where they have, I'll keep it simple and use the silver coinage because I don't have any gold coinage, and it'll become more complicated then, so I'll just keep it simple for all of it. Silver coinage. So it goes in the process of $1, and then we have the half dollar, the quarter, the dime, the nickel, and the cent there. So they represent 100 cents, obviously, 50 cents, 25 cents, and so on and so forth. Compared that to the English coinage, which you can see over here, we have the crown, which is 5 shillings, the half crown, the florin, which is 2 shillings, the shilling there that I found on in March, the sixpence also that I found, and the threepenny bit. These are the main ones, and in order to get some comparison to them, what we've done is we see that the quarter is four quarters make $1, and the 5 shillings make a crown. 5 shillings make a crown. So for me to find a shilling, it is almost very similar for you guys in America to find a quarter. And as you can see from the size, the shilling is slightly smaller. I'll do some weight in a bit. So what we'll try and do is compare the two, so to give some rough idea of what each other are finding. You can also see that the half crown is very similar to that of the half dollar, but the half crown is slightly larger, and all English silver coinage before 1919 was made with 92.5% silver, and up until 1964 all American coinage, silver coinage, was made with 90% silver, bar the war nickels 1942-45, which made 35% silver, and the really early American coins 89.5% silver or something along those lines. But the crown, the largest silver coin we have, very similar in size to the Morgan dollar, 92.5% silver, represented 5 shillings. Pretty easy to identify, very similar size. There you are. But it's quite easy to identify the half crown, which is worth 2 shillings and sixpence. Sixpence there and 2 shillings. Very similar to the half dollar. Then we have the 2 shilling florin. These only came around, and they were around from Victoria onwards to Edward and George V, George VI, and we had them up until Elizabeth, when the coinage changed. But there isn't really one to compare the florin to. But it's 2 shillings. It is slightly smaller than a half dollar, but up until 1919 again it was 92.5% silver, and afterwards 50% silver until 1946, when it was changed to cupronickel, which you had in your coins for the dime and quarter after 64, and for the half dollar in 71 onwards. Again, I've already compared the quarter and shilling. Then we have the sixpence. This is very similar to you guys in America finding a dime. It is slightly larger than a dime. This one here is 50% because it's post 1920, but it's very similar to you finding a dime. Then we have the threepenny bit. Even though these are silver and you have nickels which are not silver unless they're war nickels, it's a bit like us finding a war nickel when we find a threepenny bit, because they're quite small. They're quite hard to find, but I've seen quite a few people find them. So imagine it's trying to find a war nickel, but it's got a high purity of silver in it. Then we have the cent. You obviously have the large cent early on in American history, from the early 1800s, the 1850s. But all of the time we had these pennies. We've had this standard size of penny since 1860, and before that they were slightly larger. But this the size difference for your wheat cents and our pennies, and also the size difference for the half pennies we have here, it's still quite a bit larger. But we have these again, same size as this from 1860 onwards, but before then it was slightly larger. I'll get one up to show you. I also can show you that I can also show you here that after 47 you have the cupra nickel coins. This again is a shilling, but you can see how it suffers in the ground because it's not made of silver. And again for the sixpence, also found by me. Then we move on to the later English coins here. So what we have here, these are the coins that we find. These are the early decimal coins. So in 1971 English coinage changed, and as you can see from this, the 50p piece that was brought in, that wasn't there before. So basically what happened in decimalisation, all of the things, because there used to be 240 pence in an old pound, so 4 of these made an old pound, but because they're 5 shillings, 20 shillings in a pound, because a shilling represented 12 pence, and so when this was changed, the current coinage of the shillings were downgraded. The 50p was introduced and the threepenny bit was reduced, but because we reduced them, we had coins. So the florin, which used to be worth 2 shillings, then became 10 new pence, and as you can see from the thing, is the exact same size. This changed in 1992 when people considered it to be too large. And again with the 5p, that was reduced in 1990 or around then, to accommodate people's request that it was too large for its value. So that's how they reduced to accommodate from 240 pence to 100 pence in a new coin. So it's now very similar to your system where you have 100, 50, 25, 10, 5 and 1. But also we had, because the sixpence, that was still in circulation, that was then removed, but because it was still in circulation, it was allowed in circulation until that actually stopped, they were 2.5 pence. So we had to have halfpenny pieces, half new pence, to accommodate this until they could be removed from circulation. So then they were removed. And then we move on to modern coinage we have now. We have the £2 coin, which coincidentally is actually a very similar size to the florin. So I don't know if they use the same die size or something. I don't know. Maybe someone can help me with that. Okay, then we have the pound coin, thickest coin in the UK we have. They are quite common to find. They change design every year, like you have 4 state courses, we have one a year, but sometimes there's more than one. With the £2 coins, there's also different varying sizes. This is a common design for most years, but there's also varying designs. Then we have the 50p. These are the downsized one. From the other ones, you can see that they too were downsized because they were deemed too large for their face value, so they were reduced in size. Then we have the 20p piece, another 7-sided coin. That was introduced, but that we didn't have that before. That was introduced. We also have the 10p piece, as you can see, downsized from what it was to the newer size from 1992 onwards. It was this new size. These are still in circulation. These are not. They're not allowed. Then we have the 5p, which you can see is what it used to, the size it used to be, and now the size we have. It's the smallest coin we have in circulation currently. And here's the comparison with that. Half new pence, about the same size. Final coins we have the copper, the 2p. These came into circulation in 1971, but the designs have changed since then. And since 1992, they've been made out of steel, so they're quite hard to find for us as takers because they come off design, obviously. And again, for the penny piece, from 1971 to 1992. That was made out of copper. It's a bronze coin. It's 97% copper, 3% tin. And again in 1992, it was changed to steel. So our current coinage is made of steel, where you have zincons obviously in America. So it's quite hard for us detectorists to find these, because these go up on the detectors like iron signals. So you just have to be quite wary of that. Okay, I hope this helps some of you guys who had doubts about the coinage. If you like what you see, then please subscribe, comment, rate, whatever you want to do. Thanks for watching. Okay guys, here as promised is the chart of weights of the corresponding coinage of both countries. As you can see there, the dollar, when it was minted, it weighed exactly 26.73 grams, and it was 0.900% pure silver. And obviously the Ike dollars minted in San Fran between 1970 and 76 were 40% silver, but that's an average 40% silver, because I realised the core was silver, the thick silver and stuff like that. It's quite complicated, but that's the average weight of the average silver content of Ike dollars minted in San Fran between 70 and 76. Then you can see the corresponding crown, the largest silver coin in English history. The milled coins produced from 1816 onwards had a weight of 28.28 grams of 925 sterling silver, but the crown as a silver denomination was produced between 1551 and 1919 in sterling silver. But unfortunately the 1551 is where it gets complicated, because they were hammered coins rather than milled coins. They have different weights, different sizes and stuff like that. And then after 1920 they were 50% pure silver, but not every year silver crowns were issued. It was between 27 and 34, and then a 37 for the coronation of George VI. But very few crowns were minted during the 50% silver era. Back on the American side, the half dollar you have here weighs about 12.5 grams and is again 90% silver. The corresponding half crown, second largest silver coin compared to yours, slightly larger than the half dollar, weighs 14.1 grams. Some sites say it's 14.14, which you can see quite a big connection. In fact, it's exactly half the crown, which is what we tried to do, because in some stages in English history the coin was valued by its silver content. As you can see there, that from 1816 to 1919 it was sterling silver, but it was sterling silver before then, but the weight I'm working on is from milled coinage, so 1816 onwards, and then afterwards, after 1920 and onwards to 46, 50% silver, and they were minted consecutively every year as the largest coinage. Then we have the florin. These are there isn't really a comparison coin for America, but these weighed 11.3 grams, and they were sterling silver until 1919 again, and then afterwards they were 50% silver. Then we have your quarter dollar, 4 of them going to a dollar, simple as, hence the name, but they weighed 6.25 grams when they were issued, and they were only 90% silver. The really early ones obviously were 89.85, but it's not important, they are 90% silver in terms of ease and stuff. Compared to the shilling weighs 5.655 grams sterling silver, then after 50% silver until 46. The dime, 10 cents, weighs 2.5 grams, always 90% silver, and then came cupric nickel in 65. But obviously there were some, I've heard where there are some rosy dimes from 65 and 66 which were minted on silver planchets that were left over from 64, and they're excessively rare, but I've never seen one. I don't know if you knew that in America, but I've heard that story somewhere. Compared to the sixpence weighs 2.8 grams. Again, you know about the silver content up to 1919, sterling silver after, 50% silver until 46. Then we have the nickel, the Stanley nickel, the Jefferson nickel, Buffalo nickel, 5 grams, 75% copper, 25% nickel. But the war nickels, as the name suggests, minted during the Second World War, contain 35% copper, 350 out of 1,000 parts silver, 56% copper and 9% manganese. And comparatively our threatening bit, which for purposes is quite similar because it's quite hard to find. The war nickel's quite hard to find, I understand there, because they come up with such a low signal, but you got to dig them there. Threatening bit, comparatively, the milled ones weigh 1.4 grams. The early ones, the one that I found, weighs a bit more than that. But that was sterling silver up to 1919. Again, 50%, still 46. Your last coin currently in circulation is the Lincoln cent. The big cent, the Indian head cent, 2.5 grams, or about that. That's the weights I'm getting off the internet, but they're 98% copper, I've read. And then after 82, they were Lincolns, as you well know, you've done them up. Then we go back to our copper coinage. From 1860 onwards, all of these copper coins, penny, halfpenny and farthing, were downsized and they were made of bronze, so they only had 97% copper and 3% tin. So the penny weighed 9.4 grams, half penny weighed 5.76 grams, and the farthing weighed about 2.83 grams. I didn't show you a farthing, but I'll just get one up for you right now. So here it is. This is a farthing, 2.83 grams. It's a quarter of an old penny, so there would be 480 halfpennies in a pound, double that, so 960 farthings in a pound. So they're quite small. Compared to your wheat cent, they are slightly larger, I believe. Thanks for watching. I hope this has cleared up some of your concerns or interests, confusion, stuff like that. If you like what you see, please subscribe, comment, rate, whatever. Thanks for watching.